Now, just to kind of sort stuff out and figure it out, let me just tune into my streams for. Oh, let's need to update the titles. Sorry, I'm not very organised today. I had to run home from work because this got posted, and I it's it's really crazy.
So you're telling us you had absolutely no idea beforehand that it was going to happen?
I didn't have. I had an idea that something was going to happen, but yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know when.
Or how big?
Well, I've yeah, I'll get into it once we get started properly. How are we all doing anyway?
Yeah, really good.
Excellent, nice one.
Really good, surprisingly.
Doing all right, other than the technical difficulties I'm struggling with right now.
This is all very exciting news. I just wish it came on a Friday or maybe on a Saturday, not in the middle of a working week. But
It's Vo's bedtime very soon.
it is my bedtime very soon, unfortunately. I don't wish to be blasphemous, but I'm most excited about the generalist part of it.
Blasphemy.
I know. My apologies.
Right. Okay. We're in. We're connected. We're on live, and we're streaming. Excellent. Good. So. Hello.
Hello.
This is incredible. What's happening right now? But yeah. So the original plan was to do some sort of community roundtable for Renegade, for Renegade. But we've just received the news from EA Jim Turn and CC Hyper, EA Hyper, that there's been a massive update to the C&C Ultimate Collection on Steam. So we're going to have a quick cut through that first, and just kind of explain what that means for our community and the wider C&C community a little bit. So, shall we do a quick introduction of who's who? So, I guess I'll start with me. I'm Oa. I've been around a very long time, and I'm the lead developer of Red Alert 2: Apocalypse Rising, which we're hoping to release in April. And yeah, it's a beautiful day. What's happening? So, who else? Who wants to go? Griever. Who are you? Who are you?
I am a griever. I do PR stuff in the background with Fredo, currently trying to advertise the inevitable release of Apocalypse Rising.
Nice. Killing you.
Greetings, one and all. KY is the name, and I'm the lead developer of Tiberian Dawn Ground Zero. I'm also doing a lot of audio design for most of our projects, including having taken the lead on audio design for the infantry release of Battle for Dune: War of Assassins. And I am also the director, writer, and star of Commando, a C&C fan film, which just turned 1 year old yesterday.
Nice one. Congrats.
Thank
Part 2 when?
Sometime.
All right, Chop Bam.
Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. Hello, I am Chopam. I am the official janitor for Red Alert, Path Beyond, and Tiberian Sun Reborn. Basically, I do 3D modeling, journalism, but in the last couple of years, more management decisions like balance stuff and triaging, bug fixes, all that stuff. Currently working on Path Beyond 4.0. Going to help out with AR's release, and things are going swimmingly. Excited to be here.
Good, good. That's excellent news. Vo.
Well, I'm not even sure if I should be here. Hello, everyone. I am possibly the senior most moderator here in the Wet Hub community, and a devout Command and Conquer gamer, an avid enjoyer of every single title that ever was, and hopefully ever will be.
And that's Vo. Fredo.
Fredo, lead public relations, community management, those little things.
Good. And finally, Mr. Jared 2142.
Jared, lead dev of Expansive Civilian Warfare and the Crazy Co-op server and all the wonderfully high quality mods there are.
Good. Right, I'm just going to share this a few places. And then we shall get into this beautiful post and have a chat about it. Right. Cool. Right. Let me zoom on this a bit and we'll read through it. So, yeah. Dear C&C community, I hope the past year has treated you well and it's great to reconnect once again. As you may remember, about a year ago we launched the C&C Ultimate Collection on Steam. This is a positive step towards maintaining the legacy of Command & Conquer, but we always had the ambition to deliver even more C&C franchise improvements to all of you in the community. So shortly after launch in 2024, we commissioned Luke CC Hyper Feenan, a veteran of the C&C community who is part of our community council for the C&C Remaster Collection and was involved in bringing the C&C Ultimate Collection to Steam back in March 2024 to officially research improvements to many of the games in the Ultimate Collection. With full access to the C&C archive at EA, Luke proposed a couple of ambitious ideas on behalf of the community, and over the past year he's devoted himself to deliver upon these initiatives. These items have required dedicated persistence and extended collaboration with our teams at EA, support from leadership plus months of engineering work and deep engagements with key C&C community leaders. Today, we are excited to say that effort has paid off and the C&C franchise is getting better as a result. I'm eager to invite Luke to provide the details in his own words. Hello C&C community. For all of you awesome C&C fans who I've not crossed paths with before, my name is Luke Feenan, aka CC Hyper. I'm a 20-year-old veteran from the C&C community, a long-time modder and an admin of C&C Net. I was also very fortunate to have been involved in the development of the C&C Remaster Collection under the mentorship of Jim Vasella. Over the past year, I have been working alongside the amazing C&C stakeholders here at EA to restore the Perforce source archives. That's the source code. For the Command & Conquer games back to buildable states, which now provides us with the ability to patch these classic games in a deeper way going forward. As a long-time modder, it was amazing to finally get a chance to deep dive into the source code for these games and see how they work. Man, I bet. Today, I have been given the pleasure to share two major announcements for the C&C franchise with you all. The first one is empowering the future of the community. So that's for those of you in the C&C community who know me, you'll be familiar with my strong advocacy for video game preservation and my support for the video game open source community. It's almost 5 years ago now that EA released the source code for the C&C Remaster Collection DLL files. This release received praise across the video games industry and has enabled the community to create amazing content for the Remaster Collection. In reaction to the restoration process of the C&C archives, I wanted to take this one step further. So I'm proud to announce that we are releasing the fully recovered source code for Command & Conquer, aka Tiberian Dawn, and C&C Red Alert under the GPL license. I know this will empower those in the community who continue to create content for these classic entries in the franchise, and I hope it will aid communities like C&C Net to continue to support these games and keep them playable for future generations to come. But let's not stop there, and this is where it gets real juicy. The community over at WedHub, hey, that's us, have been doing amazing things with the C&C Renegade engine for almost 20 years now, and their projects have been pushing the absolute limits of the game. Well, if you count fixed-wing aircraft and all of the stuff that we've been doing as absolute limits, then yeah, hell yeah. To support them in taking the game and their awesome projects to the next level, we are also releasing the complete source code for C&C Renegade under the GPL license, and that is a massive, massive milestone for us because, God, we've it's been like ages since feels like ages we've been campaigning to get the source code released for it, and now this is finally a reality. So yeah, going back to this, all of us here are really excited to see what's next in store for the community over at WedHub and what they will be able to do with this release. Well, keep your eyes peeled. And finally, in appreciation of the C&C Generals community who have kept the game alive with their consistent energy and passion, hosting multiplayer tournaments and producing amazing content, I'm extremely happy to share that we are releasing the full source code under GPL for C&C Generals and its expansion pack 0 Hour. I know the Generals 0 Hour community is going to do amazing things with the source code release, and I'm excited to see what the team over C&C Online does for the next multiplayer experience for these games. You can find the source code on the Electronic Arts GitHub pages, which has a lot of links. The second thing is Steam Workshop support. But now on to our second announcement. We are enabling the Steam Workshop for more C&C titles to allow users to upload their custom maps. We know this has been an ask for the community for a very long time, so we're very pleased to give you all map creators an official and permanent home on the Steam Workshop for your content. Now the Steam Workshop support has gone live for Renegade, Generals and 0 Hour, Tiberian Wars and Kane's Wrath, Red Alert 3 and Uprising, and the game that may or may not exist, C&C 4. We have also updated all the mission editor and world builder tools so you can publish maps directly to the Steam Workshop. When you subscribe to an item on the Steam Workshop via the client or the web page, the games will now pull that content down when you launch the game, and the maps will be displayed in the single player and multiplayer map selection menus. We're also looking forward to seeing what fun and crazy maps you upload. So maybe we might be seeing Mr. Earl Knight upload his maps to Kane's Wrath, maybe.
Oh, we can only hope.
We can only
I
hope.
just typed that in chat. Oh my goodness, we're all thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I might just message him and let him know.
Yeah, and to top this off, to support the Steam Workshop, we are releasing a C&C modding support pack, which contains the source XML, schema, script, shader, and map files for all of the games that use the Sage engine. This has been another wish from the community for almost 15 years now, so we're excited to finally make this happen, and we hope it helps you all and continue to make amazing content and mods for years to come. There's something else that I actually found in the GitHub for this modding pack, and that's a lot of the test maps that the development team used to make the games have been released. So if you've got a particular interest in how the developers tested Generals and with what maps they used and everything like that, it's all in the modding support GitHub, which is really interesting. And that last thing, I would like to take a moment to thank all the community playtesters who supported us throughout this journey with their valuable feedback and encouragement. Also a big thank you to everyone who's reported bugs and issues for C&C games on Reddit and Steam. And of course to the whole C&C community for supporting these games for over 25 plus years. That's a long time. I would also like to thank the many people at EA working at various studios and departments across the globe who have helped make this happen. There are just too many to name. Their support for this project and the C&C franchise was really motivating during the final push to launch. I also want to thank the amazing team at EA Partners for providing me with the freedom to execute this project and the resources to help make it happen. Additionally, a shout out to all of those who have supported me throughout this journey who are not at EA or associated with the C&C franchise. You're awesome and you know who you all are. But lastly, I would like to take a personal moment to thank my two biggest supporters here at EA and throughout this journey. Technical Director Brian Barnes, who gave me the respect and autonomy to develop this project and the technical direction I felt was best for the core community, and Jim Vasella for pulling all the pieces into place and continuing to share his experience, knowledge and insight with me. And of course, continuing to champion the C&C franchise here at EA. Maybe that'll translate to something in the future. Thank you to both of you for always looking out for me. Luke, C&C Hyperphenom. So just to finish this off, thanks Luke. Our teams at EA couldn't be more excited about these initiatives. With the release of the source code under GPL, Command & Conquer continues its legacy of being an industry-leading franchise in the effort to empower gaming communities. And with the Steam Workshop now supporting user maps across more C&C titles, modders can easily share their creations with more C&C fans around the world. We cannot wait to see what the C&C community creates with these new resources. As with our previous modding initiatives, user-generated content for C&C titles fall under the guidelines, which you get to here, which have been updated to reflect this initiative. please be sure to learn and follow within these guidelines and be respectful of our fellow community members. This is especially important for content which has been created previously over the years. It's vital for the health of the community that the original authors have the ability to control how / if their content is distributed on the Steam Workshop. And while we've been able to test these new items with few select community members prior to release, it's always difficult to predict how tools will react at scale with the entire community. We're always listening, so please share your experience and feedback with us. We appreciate your patience as we work towards improving the C&C franchise experience. Additionally, one more treat to celebrate the release of the source code. We were recently able to discover digitized some rare gameplay footage from the early development of C&C Renegade and Generals. We wanted to share that compilation with the community here. So we imagine you C&C historians will enjoy checking out that content. So we'll take a look at that later. A huge thank again to Luke, our community playtesters, and everyone who supported these efforts. And we'll see you on the battlefield. Cheers, Jim Vasella. So yeah, massive news. What are we thinking?
What does this
That is
mean
quite a
for the
lot.
layman who doesn't understand the big news of source code release? What does this mean? Like, what are the possibilities we can expect? I say specifically for Renegade.
Well, let me put it this way, Fredo. With source code, the possibilities are limitless.
All right, good roundtable, everybody. Go home.
Yeah. So just to kind of, I mean, Jared or someone who is a coder can probably explain it better than I can. But hang on, my dog is squeaking his toy in the background because he wants attention. One sec. Frankie, no.
Back to elevator music.
Go away.
Time to hijack the roundtable.
No.
Yeah,
Why
but
are we
for the,
hijacking the round table?
I'm back.
for the coders, though.
Okay.
Oh, that was quick.
So yeah, Jared could probably explain this better than me. But the deal with having source code is different to the deal we have now. The deal we have now is that we reverse engineered parts of the engine in the past, and when we reverse engineer things, it's kind of like guessing what the source code is, and through various means. So it's not a one-to-one match with the actual original code, which is generally, I would thought, a lot cleaner. So with the actual source code for the engine, it means we can take all the years and years of features that we've piled on top of Renegade and start potentially cleaning those up and shipping them across to the source code to build on top of that instead. Or that's one of the options. Or another thing we could do is actually patch the game properly. Instead of using the reverse engineered source code to kind of approximate. So yeah, it opens up a lot of possibilities within the engine because we are able to kind of see the game in as it was made in its development, in its actual development environment, instead of using the development environment that we've created over the years.
One thing for sure is that we'll be able to use like the campaign scripts and add them to TT, which will allow us to probably make co-op campaign properly finally.
Finally, I get some ideas rolling around the old noggin for campaign stuff if we ever go down that route.
Absolutely.
What about things like pathfinding? I know that's kind of been an issue for us.
Yeah.
So we do have to keep in mind that we can't like just copy stuff, but we can definitely use it as a reference.
Yeah.
Just be like, oh, this is what we did wrong in a reverse engineering.
Yeah. So basically, we've never had, to my knowledge, we've never had a version of the pathfinding code, and that's why we've never been able to improve the pathfinding of stuff like bots. So with the pathfinding code now being released with the source code, we can take a look at that and actually try and build upon it a bit.
That is great news to hear, as I know co-op is a pretty popular game mode to play for our players.
Absolutely, yeah. It's going to give us greater flexibility of how we develop features and all sorts of stuff. I believe Janosch has been working on a new renderer, which is a bit more plug and play than our current new renderer. So the new renderer, new renderer _ final. Yeah, so that's going to be a lot more malleable, and we're hopefully going to be able to plug that in as well.
Do you think we could potentially recruit more coders, more scripts people, now that they have a better reference and an entry point?
Absolutely, yeah. So one of the problems with how we've been operating for the past 10 years of WedHub and before that Blue Hell Productions was that we are a closed source project. So what that means is basically we only give access to people who have basically interviewed with us and been kind of verified as trustworthy. Because there's a lot of sensitive code. We weren't sure about like the implications of reverse engineering an entire game engine that is not owned by us. So that's a thing that we've had to kind of navigate for the past 20 years. But now that the source code is like out there and it's open source, it means that we're free to build upon it and make whatever we do open source as well, which in turn hopefully attracts more people to work on it. Because the code's there for people to use and people to play around with.
But what I'm hearing is we can put out more documentation on our side, give people better entry points, and start building up our team there.
Absolutely. And as Flamewheel rightly points out, it allows us to kind of make a proper SDK, because currently our SDK has been a bit tenuous in its existence, because it's not properly documented, it's not game agnostic, and also none of us have probably really put the time in to do anything with it properly. But now that this is a possibility, we can actually move forward and actually make a proper SDK for the Renegade engine that will allow people to make their own games on it, which is pretty big as well.
What does the addition of workshop support for Renegade mean for the Renegade community, specifically W3D mods?
Currently, it doesn't mean much, sadly, because there are only two types of mod that you can upload to the Steam Workshop currently, and that is a map file or a PKG file, so a .mix or a .pkg. Because we specialize in games that completely replace all of the engine code and the maps and the content and everything, we basically replace the whole game for the most part. That kind of mod is not supported currently with the Steam Workshop, but with enough support from players and a bit more development time, maybe we can push EA to support it in the future.
Okay, so I have a follow-up question. What kind of steps, if any, are being taken towards integration of Command & Conquer titles into the Steam Workshop? Since, as we probably, most of us know, modding a game such as Generals, for example, is a hassle. And there is a lot of mutually exclusive elements if you would wish to join mods, and players generally need to create new game folders in order to mix up mods. So is anyone thinking about that as far as we know? Are steps being taken on the side of us or EA and or Steam to make it possible to download mods that are more than just maps?
So when I spoke about that previously, I spoke just about Renegade. I'm not sure what the support is for the other games in the franchise. But Renegade specifically is just mod package files and .mix maps, which means we can only do maps and mods initially. But
technically, you can leverage it a little bit, and you could make texture packs and stuff. It's just a lot more work.
Yeah. So Jared is a wizard, and he puts together all sorts of crazy stuff. You might, if you go onto the Steam Workshop now for Renegades, you might notice a few mods from him.
Are we seeing Renadier on the Steam Workshop?
Oh yeah. But
absolute classic.
But yeah, it's kind of finicky. So yeah, we'll require some documentation on our part to kind of let players know how to do that. But in general, like a full total conversion mod in the scale that we do our full total conversion mods is probably unfeasible right now. But yeah, we just need to push on EA in the future. Maybe they'll look to support it.
Interesting stuff.
Here's a question I see. What does today's news mean for Apocalypse Rising?
What does today's news mean for Apocalypse Rising?
Yes.
In the short term, nothing really. We're releasing in April, and it's going to be pretty good. But yeah, what does it mean for Apocalypse Rising in the long term? I mean, what does it mean for every W3D game in the long term? It means potentially if we start looking at re-implementing our features on top of the original code, maybe we get a cleaner code base that we can use to then build our games in a more robust way. Not that our games aren't robust at the moment, but they do have a tendency of scaring programmers away because of the years and years of reverse engineering that we're building upon. But in general, I think that in the long term we might have something really special when we get to the stage we're at now with ported onto the older engine or the older engine that EA's just released. So. But yeah, there's some meetings to be had. Like what I'm saying now is like I don't know if it's even going to happen, but it's definitely something to kind of look at and go like, okay, we've got our version of the engine, version 5 and 5.1, and what we're going to do with it, and are we gonna continue continue limping on with our kind of reverse engineered version, or are we going to down our tools and kind of start re-implementing this in a much better way? So it's it'll get to a point, I think, and then maybe some projects will start. But we've got to have a chat about it first.
Very good.
Yes.
I like seeing like all the different servers blowing up. Like everybody who's in C&C modding in any kind of capacity is basically blowing up with the news, and I don't know, it's just great to see.
Yeah.
The passion's strong, and everyone thinking of what they can do with this information, with this big news. No matter what like community we're in, we're all like hyped for this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been really, really good seeing all the people from the various communities coming together and just really enjoying themselves over this. I see we've got some Renegade community veterans in here. You guys want to come up on stage with us?
The veterans. We're all just old people enjoying the old game.
I'm not that old.
The oldest one speaks up.
All right. I've invited. I can see Gozzy's here.
Hello.
Hey, Gozzy.
Hi, Gozzy.
Now. I just read the news and was like, oh my god, they released source code.
For those of you who don't know Gozzy, Gozzy was instrumental in bringing Ren forums back online, and has been like a massive part of the Renegade community for many, many, many years.
Well, I've tried.
Damn,
Kept me
you
busy
must be
for the last
ancient.
20 years.
We're all ancient, Bo. That's the thing. But yeah, it's
I really started playing when I was about 20, so yeah.
Oh man. Time doesn't spare any of us.
No, it doesn't, indeed. I want
That
to
got
thank
dark real
everyone
fast.
for participating in the community wars. Those have been a blast.
Yes.
yeah, they've been really picking up.
I was 17 when I started playing Renegade, and it's been over 20 years now.
It's time well spent.
Absolutely.
Do we have any insight as to why Tip's Sun and RA2 didn't get source code release? There seems to be a gap in the spacing there.
It's a very good question.
I bet they got lost forever.
Is it because they are looking to do the remasters?
Hmm.
You say that, Fredo, but they said that Command and Conquer and Red Alert were lost forever at one point.
Well, whether there is or isn't something there, I don't know if it's news that's out yet. So how helpful is speculation anyway?
Yeah, I honestly don't know on that one.
Ooh, Moonsen's gonna upgrade the bots. That's gonna be sick.
Yeah, I think everybody has the hope and prayer that it is because of a remaster in the works, but it is also entirely possible that they are like even more lost forever than TD and Red Alert were. So time will tell.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, Dante and Blazer are here. Man, that's a real blast from the past. How you guys doing? Good to hear. Good to hear. All right, I'm just gonna go
All
over.
the folks in the audience.
Gonna go over to the Twitch chat a second and just check it out. Rykov's over in Twitch. Hey, Rykov. So, as asking, will production be faster? If anything, production will be slower for a little bit while we fathom this new code out a little bit and figure out what's there. It's probably not going to impact AR for now. Apocalypse Rising, we're going to be working on that on our existing engine right up to release because it's too short of a time to do anything with the source code in the time we have. And yeah, it's going to be pretty good. Long term, I think this does amazing things for the Renegade community. It's a wonderful game, Renegade, and it's inspired us all over the years to make crazy things and basically shoot for the moon with our dream games. So the fact that the source code's now out there and people can take a look at it and extend upon it and do all sorts of things with it is going to be really, really massive for its continued legacy, really, as a game that is very, very moddable.
I will say it feels really, really good getting a shout out to W3D Hub directly from Jim, being that when I had the pleasure of speaking with him 3 years ago, he had not yet heard of W3D Hub. And today he's making a Reddit post, shouting us out. It's awesome.
Yeah, it just goes to show how far we've come as a community as well. Because when Jim didn't know about us, we were relatively just keeping ourselves to ourselves under the radar. But recently, we've been kind of popping up a little bit more in the right places, and that's only going to help us moving forward to keep the community alive and keep the game alive, really. So yeah, awesome. I did have some prepared questions for.
You love to see it.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I
prepared
did.
questions.
I did have some prepared questions for this, but this whole announcement has completely derailed my plan.
For good reason, though. I mean, obviously, who would have known this news would have came out the same day?
So you guys did not plan for it?
I don't plan for nothing.
Nope. This is
I think-
complete surprise.
We simply had a Renegade Roundtable scheduled because of Renegade's birthday, and it happened to fall like less than an hour after this news dropped.
Yeah.
OA has
Weird.
only one plan, and that's to release AR by the end of 2007.
No. It's December 31st, 2006.
That's
April
not true.
2025,
I
we are money
remember
back.
a podcast
December
in
31st,
which you
2006,
claimed
baby.
that AR will be released by the end of the year. This was 2008.
Hey, you know what one of my first posts on Renegade forums was? It was back in 2005, and I said that AR would be released by the end of 2005.
Well, 25 perhaps, but
So
There was a typo.
typo.
I recently found that post on Ren forums and laughed at it because 20 years later here I am and AR still not released.
A lot of people keep mentioning that they were quite ashamed at how they reacted back then.
Yeah, I mean the internet and the community in general was a different place back then. I mean, I've got very thick skin, so at the end of the day, like I remember the Reborn team getting the same kind of treatment back in the day for all of the stuff they were putting up to. So it's just the internet was just that was the type of place it was back then. But yeah, Renegade community was a real trip. But yeah, I actually went looking into the web archive the other day for Ren Help, and found that it's still knocking about on the web archive somewhere. But I believe all of the Ren Help's on MPF and multiplayer forums now as well. So, but it was kind of a blast from the past to see that blue website again. It's not around, but it's immortalized in the web archive. So if you go to the Wayback Machine and type in renhelp.net, you can still get to it.
But we also ported a lot of tutorials over. The relevant ones are hosted on the WebHub's tutorials section.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Oh, Dante, I've still got that. The renhelp.chm. It's you're talking about this thing. I've still got it. This is really helpful. This is super mega old, but it will allow you to do all sorts of renegade things. I should chuck this up at some point because it's still really, really good.
That looks ancient.
It is.
Since we're all doing blasting and the pasting, I would like to give a shout out to old members of the old Reborn team for their excellent art direction in Reborn Infantry Beta. It's the game that got me into Renegade to begin with, and I can still remember my amazement back in 2008 when I saw the first-person animations of weapons reloading, the medic case with buttons and everything. It was excellent. Back then, 2008, the artists that worked on that game were some masterful craftsmen.
It's excellent. Yeah, I mean, big shout out to people like Renardin and Sloth and Dark Angel, Nightcrawler, Permagrin. I remember all these names. Pendulum, Phobby. Havoc 89, bunch of people there that worked on Reborn and were the cornerstones of the team for a long time, and really it's down to them that we even have a game at all, because yeah, it's the art, making the art for these kind of games now is kind of a lost art as art pipelines move forward and people get more. Well, they've adopted new pipelines, so things like physically based rendering has come in as a technology and really kind of made these older art pipelines that relied on creatively shading things in Photoshop a little bit defunct. So it's props to them that they made so much of it and allowed us to kind of build off of it in the way. And that's why Reborn's so good today. Like, it's been through the wars, of course, but it's finally in a place where I think it's the best it's ever been.
Here.
Are you reminiscing about Blaze Regulator? Renguard. Oh, you've just connected to a Renguard protected server.
Yeah, I remember that.
Etched into my brain.
Didn't work for a while after the first Decade got released, though.
We need to get that on our soundboard, I think.
I'm still waiting for the second Decade to release.
Oh, yes.
You're about 10 years late.
C&C the second Decade with mobile games.
Oh, not just mobile
And
games.
C&C
It's also
4.
Tip Wars, RH3, and that other game.
Yeah.
Um,
Alliances, was it?
Yeah.
That's the browser game.
Yeah, Tiberian Alliances
Yeah.
is now on Steam as well. That's another thing that's happened.
So yeah, the third decade would be Rivals and Legions.
We are the third decade.
Yes, we are old.
Indeed.
Oh, not what I meant, but
Yes. Yes, CNC 1 turns 30 this August. And I know that because I turned 30 in the same year as CNC. I just did a couple weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago, it was 2027.
Nice. All right. Let's take a look at what's actually in the Renegade source archive. So, come with me on a dive into the code. So, if we wish to rebuild the source code and tools, we need to find or write replacements or remove the code using them entirely for the following libraries. So that's DirectX, RAD, Bink, SDK, RAD Miles Sound System, NVTX Lib, Lightscape, Umbra, GameSpy, GNU, Regex, Safe Disk, Microsoft Cab, Archive Library, RT Patch Library, and Java Runtime headers. So, yeah, I guess there's all these dependencies that it's not EA code, it's just libraries that they use to build Renegade. The quickest way to build all configurations is to open commando.dsw. So commando, for those of you who don't know, was the code name for Renegade when they were making it, which is interesting. And then there's like all sorts of stuff: free dedicated server, level edit, and then a few known issues. But let's take a look at what files we've got. So code, we've got bandtest.dll, combat. Tools. Let's have a look at tools. Level edit,
light map,
make mix, mix viewer, renrem, renegade sim. Not sure what that is.
Did you just ignore Blender?
Blender 2. What's that doing there? Blender wasn't a thing back then, was it?
I think Blender is pretty old.
Back in 2002. Version
Skeleton hack.
Skeleton hack.
An update. What is that?
The source files for www.config. Wow.
oh baby.
Oh baby. www control, whatever that is. All sorts of stuff. Renegade GR.
Might be the gearing system. Or the graph for
Yeah. Oh no, simple graphs here.
gears.
Oh yeah, simple graphs here.
Sorry, you're correct.
Mix view.
Copy locked. Nice.
Copy locked. Yeah, so there's some cool stuff in there.
Commando update, the original game.
Tests. Got some bandy tests. Bandy.cpp.
Does that mean you can run unit tests?
I don't know.
Or what kind of test is that?
There's all the commando stuff. Mostly like Westwood. I forgot my favourite, which is wheeled tracked vehicle. No, it's probably in there somewhere, but I can't remember what
You know, you can search in the top bar.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Let's take a look. Vehicle. There you go. Vehicle.cpp. Excellent.
Whatever that means.
And motor vehicle.cpp. Excellent.
A wheeled vehicle.
That control. Those are the code files that control all the vehicle physics. So that's that's where the magic happens.
You might want to explain for the lesser nerds how exciting that is.
Oh yeah, it's super exciting. With this code, we're going to be able to do amazing things.
That said nothing.
Incredible things.
Some people jump on the pathfinding real quick. It could be included in AR as well. But
potentially.
Still a month.
Is still a month.
Or two.
WW
Well,
Fizz.
I guess it's time to quit my job. We have work
Why?
to do.
We've got work to do. You better learn C++ right now.
There's no other way.
Set up a Patreon
There's no way.
account. We will finance.
I don't know C++. Please don't ask me.
Pathfind.
Hey,
Yeah.
Griever, what does this mean to you as a C++ coder?
It means about 150 hours of just deep diving and figuring out what does what.
All right.
Fair answer.
And no is the answer. No.
So Legionnaire's just joined us on in the YouTube chat. So hello, how's it going, man? Legionnaire, if you don't know who he is, he's the author, one of the main guys in the generals community, and the author of Gen Patcher, which is massive.
Oh,
but yeah,
Gen Patcher is an absolute godsend.
I guess you just finished your stream, Leggy. But yeah, we're just going over the Renegade code and just taking a look at what's in here. I'm not a coder, so I have no idea, but someone who is a coder could probably make sense of it. But we're just seeing what tools we got, all sorts of bits. So I think the source code to level edit is pretty big in itself, to be honest, because that'll help us dig into some of the crashes and maybe even do some bits. But yeah, it's really good. Like, as some of you may know, we actually re-implemented our own version of level edit called Mammoth, and that works for our version of the engine, our 5.0 version of the engine, but has not worked for it doesn't work for the 4.x version of the Renegade engine that still supports Renegade. So yeah, there's maybe a chance to make a new tool there in the future as well. I know Janos and I were talking about making a Mammoth Mark II at some point with a modern UI library. So that would use more user-friendly UI that would allow everyone to make everything a lot easier. But yeah, some good stuff. Fredo says, "I want a good. You want a good summary of what any of this means for non-coders."
Yes. Like, what does this all mean?
It means the source code of the engine is on GitHub, which means that our version of the engine, which doesn't use the source code, which uses a reversed engineered version, which has been kind of like built backwards from the original game, can be worked on as if we were the developers of the game to begin with, rather than modding the game. So it allows a lot more possibilities in the future, because having the source code for a game engine allows you to do a lot more things just on the virtue of having the source code, because everything is not approximated, it's all as it was. So basically it allows us to make more cool things better and faster than we currently do, and also it means that our engine will break less because of spaghetti code. We basically for a layman's terms, the source code is the unspaghetti version of the Renegade engine, compared to our version, which is the spaghetti version. So
we can rebuild it. We have the technology.
Yes.
Does this mean that we can finally find out if points fix was actually how it was meant to be?
I guess we can.
Just asking for a friend.
Could probably look in the code and find all of that. Another thing that the source code gives us is code comments, which basically when we go into the different files of the code, we can see the comments that the Westwood developers made when they were making the game. And that provides context to everything that we do. So when we're looking in the code and we see that some decision has been made to code the game in a specific way, someone will generally be like, this is a hack, or this is not a hack, or this we implemented it this way because of that. So it also kind of gives us a developer commentary on how the game was built. And for example, like Moonsense just pointed out as well, like we can bring back things that were in Renegade that aren't in our current engine to make things easier for mappers. So height field allowed you to make a map in level edit. You didn't have to touch 3D Studio Max. We binned the height field tools a while ago when we made Mammoth, but the source code basically gives us all of the tools that we need to take that system and improve on it, instead of spending the time to reverse engineer it and then build on it. So it will allow us to make tools that are more user friendly for people to actually mod the game as well.
I like Dante's idea. Just toss the code into an AI and find some quick fixes and upgrades.
Renegade ChatGPT version.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, absolutely excellent.
And then, of course, I knew John Will was going to say something unfun.
No, there's some really exciting stuff here in general, and TLDR, we're going to be able to make game better because of it.
Excelente.
There's an example of a code comment that Gozzy just posted. Oh, this is terrible.
So it
That's
almost sounds
wonderful.
like unraveling a lot of our current hacky solutions and building it back up correctly.
Exactly.
That
Yeah.
sounds like a lot more work for our coders, but it'd be better in the long run when they can find time for it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And also,
And if they can
because-
document things too, please.
Yep. And also,
Yes.
because the code is public, it can be open source, and if it's open source, more people will likely be able to work on it. So
Okay, I have a question. Does this mean that the game will be upgradable to newer versions of DirectX?
yep.
That is very cool.
Absolutely.
So ray tracing when?
Ray tracing when? Whenever, well, if someone wants to work on ray tracing, like, feel free. You can. It's there.
I know somebody's been working on RTX for Renegade, which has produced interesting results so far, so to speak.
Yeah. It's interesting. So
Will W3D have an official fork?
we will probably have an official fork when we get a chance to make one. So one of our coders will get on that soon, I guess, and we'll start laying the groundwork.
Yeah. And we already have an official spoon in the form of Griever.
I like to
Excuse
think
me,
of myself
General?
as more of a spatula.
Oh man, well we'd love to get some contributions from you, Dante. It'd be lovely. But yeah, as with anything, it's gonna be really good. What we'll probably have we're just in the middle of setting up new infrastructure for our dev communications. So what that means is we use Slack at the moment for our comms, but we're moving from Slack to a new Mattermost install. And that will allow us to kind of set up a lot more kind of public communication with our development team. So, yeah,
Hopefully soon. We've been moving for 2 months now.
yeah, should be pretty good. But yeah, it's all coming up Millhouse.
Well, I, for one, am incredibly excited for what the potential that this has to bring to Renegade and W3D.
The
Yeah.
possibilities are indeed limitless. It's difficult to wrap your head around.
That's what I'm trying
Yeah.
to get at. It's difficult to really see it until it's tangible. Has to
Yeah.
be something tangible.
I feel like it's immediately visible to the people who work with this code every single day.
All
And to
four
the
of
ref-
them.
Yeah. And then to the rest of us, the true potential will unfold itself in time.
Maybe I should get back into sea.
Maybe you should. There was a. I'll see if I can find it. But
Oh yeah, it does bear repeating that the code team that we have right now are a bunch of wizards. They
Absolutely.
are absolutely fantastic with everything they do, and they deserve and get our eternal love and appreciation.
They terrify me. But their knowledge. Absolute wizardry. But no, we do appreciate them.
there's a picture, an image somewhere that I want to show you guys, but I can't just find it. And it was of a disc that I got an image of from Aaron Epoch Kaufman back in the day, and it's just a white disc with the Renegade source written on it. So it's like, after all these years, I finally have that disc. Played the long game. Yeah, I'll find it and I'll stick the disc pic in the chat at some point.
Ugh.
Just
I'm not
flashing
sure if
our
disc pics
people.
are appropriate in here.
Disc.
This is a PG-13 Discord.
The discs. I'll do a real CD of it. Yeah, I'll print it out and do it on my end. That'll be good.
W3D merch store win.
We have the technology.
Yes.
I'm actually wearing my Law Tank shirt right now.
Excellent.
Did they actually release the Renegade 2 source code as well?
Sadly not. I would love to have played the Renegade 2 demo.
That one probably is actually lost to the ether.
Yeah, probably lost to time.
Yeah.
Or
At least we
that-
managed to save some assets from it.
Yeah, either that or it's on some obscure computer at EA somewhere.
What, like the C&C 4 server was? Just a random back-end server computer box.
Yeah, it's and just like, remember the Westwood FTP was up for years and years and years after Westwood died. It was a legend that it was on a computer in EA's basement called Mobius.
Mobius.
Did they forget about it?
I think they did. Yeah, it was up there for ages, but
Until someone cleaned behind it.
yeah, and turned the power off. We were like, oh. But yeah, good stuff. Yeah, so let's take a quick look in the modding support. So this is all the modding support. This is the modding support Git for the various stuff you've got in for Renegade. We've got the maps, and we've got map sources for all of the original maps now. So I don't know what MTU is, but we've got M00 to M11, which is cool. And then we've got multiplayer maps as well. I thought M00 was the tutorial, because I remember it always being called like,
Zero point mission 1, and then it's up to mission 12, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
12 missions.
I remember when I was a kid, I used to call it Moo tutorial, because it was the M00.
This folder seems to be missing Glacier Flaying.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's no Glacier
Think-
Flaying source because it came after the development of Renegade. So this
I
is
think it's only the
I do
maps
not
that
believe
were
this for
in
a
the
second.
first version.
yeah. Although
We don't have the flying maps either.
so I found the secret to that, and there's a checkbox in one of the settings that allows you to export a map as a flying version. So the flying versions of the maps are probably contained within the original these originals here, unless there's something like really different about the flying maps, like extra defenses and stuff that weren't part of the original maps.
If I remember correctly,
City
they have-
flying had staircases up the buildings.
Yeah.
That weren't there on the regular.
Right.
Isn't that the case with all the flying maps?
Walls flying, there was no difference in the actual map itself,
Okay.
if I recall correctly.
But like the versions of the buildings that have ramps up to the roof.
Yeah.
Oh, John
Uprising.
Will says that the release level files are just what Westwood published back in the day, so I guess this is nothing new, but pretty cool. Yeah, I guess there's some Uprising stuff here. This is it's all the modding stuff for Uprising, so you can properly mod it now.
Nice.
I don't think there's any crazy maps here though, but
And for Red Alert 3, nice.
Kane's Wrath also got full modding support because the world builder and stuff wasn't released for it, and it didn't have any of the schema, from what I remember. Tiberian Wars, yeah, that's pretty standard. Tiberian Twilight, that's got all the different modding support files as well. Generals and Zero Hour is interesting because it's got maps in it, and it's got the source files for all of the original official maps. A bunch of obsolete ones, I guess, and then the internal maps, which is the most interesting one, which is all the test maps for when they were making the game and were doing stuff. So there's a particle editor map and Scud Storm test and all sorts of stuff. So there's a ton of maps in here which are just like EA Pacific, Westwood Pacific, EA Pacific, just testing the game and testing all the bits of it before shipping it. So that's really interesting. I wonder if there's probably a similar one in Generals as well. Yeah, there's a maps file here as well, which contains a lot of the original maps. Yeah.
Quick, someone get Earl Knight on the line.
Yeah, someone get Earl Knight on the line and get him to submit some more stuff. Rytkov asks on Twitch, does EA know you have a public release in April? Yeah, they do. Been talking with Hyper, and he knows that we've got a public release in April. Right. Rick Jankowski on YouTube asks, what's going on with Ground Zero? KY.
So Ground Zero kind of hit a little bit of a development lull for several reasons that I won't really go into. But in the meantime, we did get all of the buildings that Aircraft Killer generously donated to us finally fixed up and in-game. So expect a blog on that sometime soonish. I'm kind of holding off on doing a whole lot of stuff with it because I'm currently busy helping push Apocalypse Rising over the finish line. But after AR goes out on release, then I'm going to get the GZ team together. We're going to take inventory of what we have, and then we're going to push forward with development. We've got a bunch of stuff together that I'm hoping for a nebulous release around December of next year, but I'm not going to say anything official just yet.
Nice. Yeah, that game's looking really good. What we got here, John? Well, let's take a look. Init.cpp. What is that? Is that a bug?
It's like a beetle.
Like a little beetle in the source code?
It's somebody drew a hexapod.
That's great. Oh, I don't know how to read this, but it's
Yeah, exactly. Like
seems
this is out of my realm.
seems important. Author Steve Tall. There you go. That's a cool bug. That's a cool bug. Right. Shall we dig into some of the questions I had prepared? We've got about 45 minutes left before the APB game night starts. So
Yeah.
yeah.
45 minutes.
Right. I got to pick a question now that everyone's gonna kind of resonate with going off of this, because I did have a bunch of questions related to Renegade, but it feels like that some of these are maybe a bit trivial compared to what's been happening in the community. So, all right. So I'm gonna start with this question, which is it's a big one, but it's gonna be interesting. So, pie in the sky, we're all going to Disneyland. What is the one feature or the collection of features that you wish the Renegade engine or W3D engines had, that we'll be able to work on moving forward? So, like, what improvements or features would you like to see in our games moving forwards? So I want to ask that one first to Killing You, if you would oblige.
Ooh.
We can come back to you if you don't have an answer straight away.
I have two possible answers, but I don't know which one I would put first. So, number one would be prone, the ability to go prone, and the other one would be to have an alternate ammunition tracking system, one that goes by per magazine rather than just a standard ammunition count. Something more along the lines of stuff like Arma or Ghost Recon or the classic Rainbow Six, if anybody played that. Mostly because those would really bring home the vision that I have for Ground Zero. Those would be like my pie in the sky stuff that I would want to have, because everything else I want to do is either already implemented or in the works.
Yeah.
In the works.
Nice one. I mean, does anyone want to jump in next?
Dual wielding. That would have been cool to have had.
Ooh.
Dual wielding, very good. Yeah, that's a very good one. I mean, I would love to see a proper spawning system. So when you go into like a pre-spawn layer, you join the game, you can choose which building you want to spawn in or which base you want to spawn at and stuff like that. That would really allow us to do all sorts of interesting things with maps with multiple bases, so that you could kind of go between and stuff like that, and
that'd be so cool.
That kind of stuff. Also, would love to see support for like area-based UI. So this is the best way to describe it. So currently, if you want to, area-based targeting UI. So one of the things that I've noticed in the game is if you want to check the health of anything, you have to point your gun at it, and you get the targeting box that way. But I think it would be really, really cool if you could check the health of things within an area rather than needing to specifically look at things to get the health information. But
we have features that kind of make that possible.
Yeah, we've got some features that do kind of make that possible. But
I would personally love to see improved graphics.
Yeah, improved graphics. That's a good one. So when you're talking graphics, you're talking like lighting, shadows, textures,
dynamic shadows.
Dynamic shadows. Shaders.
The lights that look like lights.
Dynamic shadows
100,000 polygons per model.
dynamic shadows that don't actually kill your computer.
Yeah, better performance, right?
Yep.
No more
I
server.
swear,
No more
IA
light
runs
solve.
better than our games currently.
Better netcode.
Yep.
Yes.
Better netcode. Better pathfinding. And yeah.
Just
Post shader effects.
Yep.
In-game voice chat. That's just a dream.
Yeah, I do feel generally when I join a W3D game, like there's a certain feel to it. It's like, okay, this is kind of old, or this is a Renegade mod, like that sort of feel to it. I'd love to separate from that using like this graphics thing.
Try.
It's the camera chop bell that gives that feeling.
Yeah,
It's terrain.
Better camera. That's another one. Better camera. I think.
Are you guys using like a power shot or something?
Power shot?
He's thinking Canon,
Oh yeah.
the photographer.
That's just a Kodak.
You're not using a true DSLR.
Kodak disposable, mate.
It's out of our budget.
Yep. I think
Well-
as well, like the better tools, so that modders can create things a lot more easier. So I would love that. Like this is the big pie in the sky feature that I would love, and that is the ability to create a map from start to finish without touching 3D Studio Max.
Ooh, yes.
It'd be great for our people who actually want to create maps.
Yep. Would be amazing.
I can already think of a couple of people who would probably jump on that like crazy.
Yeah. Then you
This
wouldn't
makes
Myself
me
being one of them.
didn't need it.
Say, Journal's map editor. How would it possibly be possible now with the source codes for both games to be able to kind of find the similarities and maybe be able to export maps made for one game into the other? Question mark.
So, I'll try and answer this. Bear in mind, I'm not a coder. That whilst Renegade shares similarities with Generals, 0 Hour, even C&C3, Red Alert 3, in its rendering, but in its rendering, the game, the actual core game code is so vastly different between Renegade and Generals that it's not really the logic that you have to put on the maps and everything. It's just not supported. So, whilst we can look at Generals and look at C&C3 and all these kind of games for information on things like file formats and W3, like the W3D file format and how that is authored and how it's exported from 3D Studio Max and all that kind of stuff. We can't really take a map that's been made in World Builder and export that to Renegade because the gameplay code is so different. At that point, you may as well just make a new tool.
One thing we could do, however, is use the height field code from Level Edit.
Can we
Potentially.
use, as Dante pointed out, can we use some of the Sage engine, some things from the Sage engine to run some graphic improvements?
Graphical improvements, yeah.
Because it's also
Oh my goodness. Can we implement ragdolls into Renegade? The ones that you get in Generals when you nuke walkers into the
Do it!
Oh my god, yeah.
the guys flying off from the bikes.
Yes.
Getting knocked flying into the sky by explosions.
And then next time Pyrile hits somebody with their artillery, we will see Vos 100 feet in the air.
Well, in
Like
that case,
proper-
he is no longer 5 meters away from them.
Make Renegade have proper Unreal Tournament ragdoll physics.
better vehicle boxes, so they're no longer boxes.
Yes.
Yep. Oh, better collisions.
Oh yeah.
Precisely.
detection across the board.
You will never be
Yeah.
squished again, especially with a better netcode when you're 5 meters away from the target.
Of course.
That'd be amazing.
All right. Does anyone else want to contribute to that question before we move on?
Which
What
one?
was the question?
It was what improvements or features would you like to see in the future of W3D engine games?
Better netcode, better netcode, better netcode.
Some performance, like either of this or something else.
Something
DLSS
that-
support.
Yeah, something that I expected somebody to mention, but I'm surprised nobody said, is the ability for vehicles to carry vehicles.
Oh. Yes.
Ah,
The ability for vehicles to carry vehicles would be very, very good.
Wow.
Yes.
how viable is it in a FPS environment like our games?
I mean, pretty viable.
I mean, it's just a gameplay choice, right?
It would
We
be a
have a
very complex gameplay decision from a team to do that.
I believe we have a design sheet on this already.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a design sheet. So it would be stuff like carryalls, LSTs, the transports in APB, and the big hovercraft transports in AR.
Yeah, ECW already has carryalls.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, the
In
carryalls.
the form of the
Carryalls work.
in the form of the Chinook, which it's a lot of fun to just pick up people's vehicles and then put them on the other side of the map.
You mean into the water?
Yes.
Chrono shift effect.
That's some emergent gameplay right there.
Yes,
Picking up a
indeed.
stealth tank and throwing it into the ocean.
Oh, the possibilities are limitless.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right. Should we move on to another question?
Sure.
So this is one I was going to ask, irrespective of this news, but the question is: how has the community evolved since the game's release, and what role do you think it plays in keeping the game alive?
Yes.
Yes. So basically, how do you think the community, or how good do you think the community is at supporting Renegade and all these different things, and what would you like to see the community kind of carry on to do in the future?
I think one of the things that kept us together is the drama. No?
Yeah, absolutely.
APB, we know drama.
We do know drama.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always seen
Yep.
some random drama around. No, but seriously, what I do like now compared to before is that there's less players, so everyone is more or less forced to play together. When I came back after a 2-year break, everyone, well, half of players I knew, and they were all like, "Oh, Gozzy's back. Welcome back, Gozzy." I mean, I've been gone for 2 years.
I guess it's like Renegade community is quite familiar in that aspect, and it's a very tight knit bunch of people who just know what they like and keep playing. So that's I guess a good thing about it. You always know if you've been in the Renegade community beforehand, and then you come back to it after a time. Like there's 9 times out of 10 there's going to be someone you recognise. But yeah, what do you guys think about the community right now? What the role it plays in keeping the game alive and the future?
Forgive me for stating the obvious here, but I feel like the community is the reason it's still alive. Like without us, Renegade would have been a forgotten thing in FPS history, lost to time in the ether, stuck in 2001. But because of all of us who enjoy this game and figuring out how it works and what we can do to make it do new things, it's alive and still getting new updates. And here in 2025, as we saw in the Steam Workshop.
Yeah, absolutely. Like not just Wed Hub, but also communities like Ren Corner and MPF and all the other people who are still hosting Renegade servers, as well as the guys over at Totemarts with Renegade X. Like, basically the fact that Renegade's still alive is due to all of those communities, as well as Ren forums as well, back in the early to mid days, like pushing things along and just keeping the torch held high for Renegade.
As well as all the passionate gamers who still play these games and visit us here and watch these streams and participate in our chats.
Yeah,
Exactly.
for real.
Exactly.
You guys are the reason that we're still here doing this, in all reality.
It's PXD the sole reason.
I will reserve my follow-up to that comment for after we are done in a formal setting. But PXD knows.
Yeah, it's been really thanks to people sticking around and playing our games, and specifically for Wed Hub now, playing our games that has allowed us to kind of continue doing what we do. It's like through the passion of others, we kind of gives us loads of energy, and we can continue developing what we make and to the best of our ability, just on the weekends. And yeah, it's nice. It's a nice feeling to be able to come here and just work on something, and then have a load of people be stoked for it. We are small, but we're mighty.
Small.
All right. I've got another question. More Renegade centric now. What's your favorite weapon in Renegade?
The Ravishal Railgun, of course.
The Ravishal Railgun. Good pick.
Yes.
Repair gun.
After
Wrong.
yesterday,
There's
I'm
only
starting
one
to
answer
really
here.
fall in
It's
love
the
with
Ramjet.
the...
No, Ramjet is too easy.
Knew someone was going to say either the 500 sniper or the Ramjet.
Laser chain gun.
Ramjet.
Laser chain gun. Ah, you see, now there's a man of taste.
Repair guns are
coolest.
much better. Come on. Repair guns can do something no other gun can.
Repair gun is very, very good.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
I'm on the
yesterday-
repair gun team.
Yesterday gave me a new appreciation for the flechette gun. I love that thing.
Yeah, the flechette gun is a good one as well. The Tiberium auto rifle too is quite nice.
Now
Unless you're
that's
playing the
an
single player
interesting one.
campaign, in which case, when used against you, they are horrifically overpowered.
Now that's an interesting one. NLS Reen. Timed C4. Isn't Timed C4 a staple of all Renegade mods? Well, almost all of them. And Renegade itself.
Yep. Proxy mines as well from Blazer. Man.
Really a tank game, though.
There's also the automatic pistol.
Ah, yes. Team Wolf was proclaiming pistol supremacy quite often yesterday.
How about the ultimate of classic weapons of the proxy mined teammate?
The proxy, the
The AC Stalker special. Oh, that's amazing. Blazer just said DJ Laptop still hates the time I threw a proxy mine in the air and headshot him.
Pistols are actually really good because they are hit scan in Renegade, whereas the rifles and other weapons generally aren't, apart from the sniper rifle. So if you don't have a sniper rifle, the pistol's generally next best thing if you want a hit scan weapon.
Yeah, and the headshot is 5 times multiplier.
Yep. About the Volt auto rifle.
Oh.
Ooh. Love the Volt Auto Rifle.
I remember the Tesla Trooper gun in APB literally being the Volt auto rifle.
Yes. And for some reason, the Tesla tank actually fired personal ion cannon
Yeah.
instead of electricity beam. It's like, why? Why do you do this?
NLS Rene says, is there going to be changes to the exit latency on vehicles, etc.? Now that you have the source codes. Just joined in, so I might be spoken already. We're not sure what we're going to do with the source code yet. There's a few ideas being punted around as to what we could do. So yeah, it'll be up to us to kind of like study it and over the next coming months and figure out what kind of projects we can cook up with it. All right. Since we said favorite weapon, what about favorite vehicle?
Medium tank.
Mine's
You know what?
A hard choice. They're also great.
Mine's definitely not.
The flame tank.
I'm gonna have to go with the light tank personally.
Artillery.
No love for the bike.
But
For me, the light tank only in combination with Ravishaw. And otherwise, it's a match between stealth tank and mammoth tank.
But no matter whether you're using the artillery or the light tank, just remember, drive that thing backwards.
Yeah.
But which
except when
vehicle
you're,
did you
Ravishaw
choose on a new
inside.
map?
I mean, I'm always with the artillery. That's my favourite weapon, my favourite vehicle. I'm not sure what I would pick on. Probably a medium tank on GDI. So, speaking of vehicles, though, let's take a look on Steam. If I can quickly. There we go. Let's see. Is there a way that we can? Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to bring this over here. If we go onto the Steam Workshop now. Onto Steam now. We can see the Steam Workshop is down here. You can go on there. And there's already some bits here. So we've got a couple of things by Jared. So the endearing mod is there for Renegade, so you can subscribe to that and get that. Fixed recon bike on Under. So this is actually my mod. I uploaded this, and what it does is it fixes the recon bike physics. I've completely re-rigged it and stuck it on C&C Under. The endearing reticule, so it replaces the circle with the deer reticule. Chroma map, which is from Unstoppable, which gives you a map which is completely chroma, which is something I need to get for you, Groover, actually, for AR. Still, and then C&C Silent, which is C&C City but with Silent Hill fog. So there's a few different mods here, so that's really cool. But let's take a look and see what's on the General's General's Workshop.
Store?
The General's Workshop. That's what I meant to say. Steam Workshop support. There, all sorts of maps are already here. So it's 27 maps here currently. So bits and pieces: Battle for Reach, Frozen Vanguard, Beijing Uprise, Magma Plant. Yeah, lots of stuff. But I expect this is gonna come through, and also there's a little filter for Art of Defense. So,
I never thought I
How
would
about
see
tower
Call of
defense?
on Steam. And when it came on Steam, I never thought I would see the day when Workshop would be enabled.
Bye, Gauzy.
Well, here you are.
see you, Gozzy.
Great having you join us.
let's take a quick look at where are we? Kane's Wrath.
I see nothing yet, sadly.
Nothing on there yet, no. But it will come in time.
I bet Earl Knight is already cooking. He's probably uploading his entire collection of 50 gigabytes of maps.
When he sees this.
Oh, baby.
I hope to God he does, so I don't end up with like 3 duplicates of the same map with different names.
Tiberian Wars. Oh, there's a couple. Hyper's made a couple of maps. This will pass. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, so there's already some stuff coming online onto the workshop, so that's excellent. And that's really going to help in the long run. But yeah, as soon as we get some of those tasty Earl Knight maps up for Kane's Wrath, we'll be cooking, boys. So
As soon as you fix your porting issues.
yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, no, that is a thing I need to fix. Right, I've got another question. What are some of the most memorable moments you've experienced whilst playing Renegade or any of the mods?
Something involving an RV on a map. Jumping into it and squishing another player is also in this goal. So many things.
The general joy you feel of artillery shotting helicopters out of the sky. Or especially,
Right.
moreover, with the V2.
Nothing hits quite like that.
Sneaking around ABB maps with useless engineers
Yes.
with Nodlight alongside me and blowing up enemy bases.
That's fantastic. I love it. And then
Proto PSV.
hijacking the enemy ore truck, a player one, and driving somewhere off. And then into a supply truck and killing the ore silo. That was a great match.
Mass Chrono Tank Rush. Mass Chrono Tank Rush. There's nothing like it.
Or back when it was still a map, I believe it was called Fjords. Sometimes you had a fantastic match, back and forth.
I still remember the first game of APB that I played, and it was on Volcano, and the old Volcano, and I remembered seeing longbow helicopters for the first time, and there was players coming back to base with their helicopters, and I was like, why are they coming back to base? Like, don't the helicopters have infinite ammo? And then suddenly it clicked, and I was like, no, this is the game now. This is the game. I have to fly back to base to refill my helicopter. That's the true experience of
It made him a lot more
C&C
power.
mode. Yeah, it was very good. I had so much fun as well. The clan wars that we had back in 2007, 2008. Those were really, really good. We had like organized maps with like tactics and all sorts of stuff. We had our own like little forums where we would like strategize and talk about what we were going to do to rush the enemy. We had like a secret strategy where we would rush the pillbox on Ridge War, which was like pretty damn good. And yeah, just generally obsessing over the games and coming up with all the best strategies. It's amazing. Yeah, good times. Anyone else have some memories they want to share? I see Dante said the first day the flying maps were released. That was a long time ago, back when the flying maps were released as part of the patch 1.037.
I have a lot of memories from Renegade, mostly from the Black Sabbath server that White Dragon coded, and mostly
Yeah.
there were so many good additions to there. I love the refund mechanics. So if you bought an engineer to save the Hand of Nod, basically you switched from a 1,000 character like Sakura or Revachol, you would get refunded for it. That was so amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I could not play any other server after that. But it was really good in Renegade that you could just jump in an APC, go out into the field, pick up your injured teammates, and bring them back to your base, saving their lives. That was amazing.
Fifteen hour long field under an hourglass games. Wow.
I think we can all agree that there are tons and tons of interesting memories and stories to be told.
Absolutely. Oh man, the what Rene just put in the chat with the winning against Jelly server with new stories. One of the best feelings with the 15-hour long marathon games. That's insane. Those games used to last so long as well. Like, you could just play forever and ever and ever.
Yeah, Marathon did that.
It was very cool. Alright. So, let's crank in another question. So, what do you think is Renegade's legacy? Like, how do you think it's influenced other games that are currently out there? Like, what's Renegade's kind of like lasting influence on the gaming community? Does anyone want to answer that?
Good question.
So I think I've seen like quite a lot of influence, like quite a lot of stuff happening with other games, like implementing things like purchase terminals and vehicles in a way that Renegade used to deal with it. So it's like pretty interesting to see like how it's still influencing games today, and also like the fact that it was one of the first type of games of its kind as a vehicle-based shooter. With Battlefield.
I must interrupt you, Owa.
Battlefield coming
We
afterwards.
have C&C Hyper in chat.
Oh damn, he's here.
He is here.
Hyper is here. Do you want to come up and say a few words? Hyper. Here he is.
Oh, I needed permission to speak. Oh, sorry about that. Hey everyone, how you all doing?
Fantastic.
Absolutely amazing. How are you?
I'm extremely tired and I am burnt out by all the messages, the lovely messages from people from all sides of the community, and yeah, I'm so ecstatic right now. I'm on my 4th beer, so I'm having a great time. But yeah, I wanted to drop in. I wanted to drop in earlier because I know you guys were doing a round table, but I had some things to attend to. But yeah, like, how are you guys feeling? Like, obviously, not only did we release the code for Renegade, all of that archive footage for Renegade as well. Like, I mean, have you guys seen that yet?
So we haven't watched it yet. No,
Yeah, I've been watching
I've watched it.
while the roundtable's been going on. I spotted the old trailers for Renegade, and some of them are brilliant.
Yeah, like some of that stuff. So I have to be careful here. As long as this isn't being recorded, we're all right.
Oh, it's being recorded.
Is it?
Yeah, we're streaming at the moment.
Hey everyone. No, I can say there's basically there was a ton of archive footage that I was given access to, and with the support of Jim, I was able to put something together. And I knew that we needed to focus on specifically Renegade and Generals because of the code we were releasing, and I knew there was some really cool stuff that the community would have loved, especially Renegade with all of the the cut intro sequence, the extended concept pre-production sequence, and also the little clip of Commando at the end that I snuck in there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
That was a cool thing. So I'm going to tell you a little story about that. So I was over in Redwood Shores with Jim in San Francisco last year, and I was walking around the offices as they were archiving all these tapes, and as I was walking past one of the screens, that little Commando footage was playing, and I stopped Jim and I was like, "Hey Jim, like, what is this?" He was like, "I don't know, it's just on the back of one of the tapes." I was like, "Put a pin in that, like, we need to come back to that." So yeah, that's been sitting in my brain for about a year now, and I'm so happy to be able to include it for everyone to finally see. Yeah, it's just super cool moment for everyone, and obviously the Renegade in General's community, and I'm so happy for everyone to be able to celebrate this right now. So yeah. Sorry, I'm completely spent of my day right now, so my voice is starting to go.
Well, it's a bit overwhelming for us too. It's unexpected, at least to many of us, and in the middle of a week, it's just possibilities are limitless, as we keep saying.
Yeah,
Thank you.
right? Like, anything can happen at any point, and like, I need to give a shout out to some of the people we have here. Like, let me just kind of, can I see who's in this channel? How do I see that? We got Oa in here. Yeah, that's a good one. Is Team Wolf in here?
No, he's not.
Unfortunately not. No, he wasn't able to attend today.
Well,
No
we don't worry about
sandworms.
Team Wolf. Yeah, we don't need Team Wolf. Don't worry about him. We have Jared. Jared's in here. Yeah, awesome. Do we have Unstoppable?
Yeah, I think Unstoppable's in the audience. Or he was
Yeah,
in the audience.
awesome. Yeah. Who else have we got? And then obviously John Will as well. So like, we had a few of you guys under NDA taking us through this journey, and obviously we shared the news before the holidays that we were doing this, and the response in our kind of focus group was like, hell yeah, this is an amazing point for the community. And so yeah, they've been along for the ride with us internally, and you know, the support from those guys has been unreal. And you know, from a Renegade perspective, John Will has been possibly one of the most impactful people from the community throughout this project, and his insight and knowledge of the engine has like paid dividends. So you know, like, everyone should be like really appreciative of like what John brings to the community and like all the knowledge he has, because he was absolutely pinnacle in making this project happen. So yeah, big shout out to John Will for that one.
Yeah, massive shout out to John Will for everything he does.
Oh, you've got the footage playing as well. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
just seen that on the screen.
Just playing that on the stream now.
Yeah. So the really cool thing is there's actually 3 versions of this clip, and this is the longest version. There's one that cuts out a few different sequences. But yeah, it's yeah.
It's very reminiscent of what Killing You produced. It's almost like
So-
KY had this all along.
Yeah,
KY.
So actually, this is something I actually want to say to Killing You is, now this is out there, can we get like a director's cut of what you've done and almost kind of match it to this video? Is he still there? Yeah. But no, it was super cool, because I knew when I was watching his video, like, I shared it around with a few of the EA folk, and then when we showed this video, they were just like, yeah, it's very reminiscent of that, very old school. So yeah, super cool. Oh, yeah. Sorry guys, I'm completely spent.
There is nothing you should be apologizing for.
Yeah, we've
Apart
been
from dropping.
Oh my god! I'm not trying to do that!
we've been having a great time here, just reading through everything and
So what was the general response in terms of like releasing the code and the videos and that? Like, I'd love to hear your sentiments and your views, because obviously I had to do this in a very isolated way. So getting to kind of hear some feedback would be great.
Yeah, it's very very big. It feels like, but I think it's we need a good way to kind of explain to maybe the non-coders and non-technical people around about how big of a deal this actually is.
Yeah,
because it's massive.
Yeah, I want to do a post soon in the main C&C subreddit Discord, so I'll kind of break into that. We had a war room meeting, you know, that was fun internally at EA, watching everyone kind of reply to threads and that. So yeah, I'll put something up soon once I finish my beer. So, response to Killing You. What did you think of the short film? I absolutely loved it. Like I said, I've shared it with a few people at EA. They think it's amazing. My only question is, like, where's the rest of the content? I want to see more. I'm expecting much higher levels of quality next time. I'm joking. But no, it's great. Awesome. Yeah, it's great to see.
Nice. In your own words, can you explain what releasing the source code means?
Oh, right. Okay, you put me on the spot right now, haven't you? So, to give a kind of context here, I'm a big advocate of video games preservation and open sourcing, and, you know, like, as in the kind of post that Jim put out, that me and Jim wrote together, you know, I wanted to kind of put together and formulate a plan of how we could empower the community and give the future of these games to the community. So for me, the biggest takeaway is that not only have we given the community the source code to take these games into the next kind of like generation and the next evolution of the community patches and the game's future, but we're also advocating for it through the Steam Workshop and, you know, showing that modding is like massive part of the C&C community. It's very easy to see that every time someone makes content for C&C that it gets attention just because there's so much history and so much love for the franchise. So to finally put all of this like accessibility and this code and this potential in the community's hands, like, it's unmeasurable in my eyes. And yeah, I absolutely went for the moon with this. Like, the original plan was just to do the TD and RA code, and I absolutely put my foot down and I was like, we need to go bigger with this. And the support from all the different teams at EA internally has been like massively surprising. Like, people came from all corners to support, and, you know, I'm immensely proud of everyone involved and the fact that we were able to pull this off. So yeah, it's a great moment. And I'm going to do this to steal the words of a very famous person in the history of this franchise. Every day is Community Day. So yeah.
I was telling people about the disc that I had a picture of earlier. The source code disc from APOC.
Oh, that picture of that disc. Yeah, I mean, like, that's pretty much where the code came from. So if you're wondering how, like, we was able to release the code, it's because in the archive was a CD with the code, and we were able to release it. So it's like, it's not separate from the whole thing. That this whole story of, you know, releasing the code started all the way back when APOC found that disc. So yeah, there's a story behind everything. I wish I could just tell them all.
Absolutely. It's been really, really good. Really good positive atmosphere here. Like, we've got so much stuff that we can do and think about in the future now. We just gotta, as I said earlier, like, it's now time for us to kind of take stock of what's in the code dump, take a look at and read up on what we got, and then make some plans as to how we're gonna take this forward in the future.
It's exciting to hear.
Yeah, you've given us the ball, and now we're going to run with it.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is what I want to see. I want to see the next resurgence in the community. Like, you're showing the clip right now of the internal gameplay footage. This was a tape of like over 30 minutes long. I had to trim some sections out that You know, it's like internal gameplay footage that they would share with like press and come up, like other parties involved. And I just felt, stuff like this is what the community wants to see as well. Like this is a pre-final version of the game, and like hopefully you can pick out some little nuggets that you're like, hey, I've never seen that before, and that. So
yeah,
I hope that we've given you, and I say we because Jim is very pivotal in this as well. He absolutely supported this whole thing from the start. I hope we've given you guys enough information, enough content to really do some awesome stuff and collect some cool information. So
I'm really interested to see this commando at the end of this video, so I'm going to skip forward to that.
Have you not seen it yet?
I've not, no.
Oh, okay.
So I guess this is the very, very early version of Renegade, or at least
This is a concept.
the concept video for it.
Mm. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but all of the models in this video are from the Tiberian Dawn era. So this is like all the stuff they use for the FMVs and the manual and stuff like that. So obviously some tweaks, but yeah.
So that's where the lighting came from for GZ.
I've got a present for you.
He's definitely got a present for you.
He's definitely got a present for you, always.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but I actually set up the video so it started with the extended sizzle. So it says like, to the millions of Command & Conquer fans around the world, we've got a present for you. So that was by choice. So everyone would be like, oh, here's a present. So just wanted to throw it in there. And just so you guys know, I didn't say wasted, but I spent a lot of evenings editing this whole video together from all the footage, and it definitely took some years off my life. I'll give you that. But yeah, no, I'm happy it's in the hands of the community and they're able to see it, and the response has been fantastic. So, like I said, my voice is starting to go, so I apologise.
Yeah. The game has been changed again. The game, as Chandra says in the beginning of Tiberian Sun, the game is afoot.
Someone going to finish it?
Yeah, I think this is actually time on our little round table here now. So
well, I'll jump out and let you guys finish. It's been great to just jump in and say hello to everyone, and we're all super excited to see what happens next. And yeah, thank you everyone for being so awesome and keeping the Renegade community alive for so long. You're a pillar of the C&C franchise community. So yeah, I'll leave you guys to it. Speak to you all soon.
Yeah, cheers, Hyper. Thanks for all the hard work you do to keep us going and keep C&C alive. It's super, super inspiring.
Anytime. Happy to do it. Catch you all later, people.
Bye. All right, so that concludes our roundtable event. So thanks for joining, everyone. It was a bit unstructured as the news came in of the Renegade source code and all of the wonderful things surrounding the Steam Workshop and everything. So, but thanks for joining us. Now we will be moving over to APB, where we will start the game night. So feel free to come and check it out, especially for you guys who have been around for a while and maybe haven't checked out where APB is currently in terms of development. Like it's become a very, very fully fledged game now. It's very, very polished and a lot of fun. So feel free to come and join us. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Does anyone else have any closing statements before we kind of sign off?
Thank you, Z Hyper, for so thoroughly and brutally dispatching the source code.
I will not say
Very nice.
Das Vidania, but I'm sure we'll meet again. Oh, good.
Base.
All right, we'll be playing for a few hours, so feel free to join us. There's plenty of maps in the rotation. So yeah, We shall see you all there.
What are you waiting for, General? Join the game.
Push the button.
Yes, I will be a little bit delayed because